Hi, my name is Reese. I'm from TAMdoûr. I wanted to put a video together real quickly just to explain to customers how to order our doors, what we offer, how to measure up and how to fit. So our TAMdoûrs are very simple. They're a space-saving solution, so very popular in camper van conversions. If you're replacing cupboard doors in your kitchen, or if you want to build a storage area within your home and you don't have room for an outward swinging door, a tamper door is a perfect solution where it will slide across and inside without that outward swinging. So to understand a tamper door, how it works, will allow you to measure up and order the correct size. It is very simple to order online. We've got on our homepage a quotation option. So as you scroll down the homepage, you can choose the type of door that we offer, which is on www.thedoor.co.uk. So as you scroll down, you've got options of our different types of doors that we have, and on there is a tamper door where you can choose the color from silver, black or white. You can change the handle, so you can have a black door with a silver handle, or a white handle, or a silver handle. So it also gives you the option to put in the exact height that you require, the exact width, whether you want the handle on the right or the left, to slide left or to slide right. If you need extra corners, what type of track that you would need for your project. And yeah, that's basically it. So I'll explain a tamper door very quickly. It's a very simple thing. So it's based all around the track. So the track is the most important. Where you're going to put the bottom track and where you're going to put the top track for your door to slide in. So certain projects need a flexible track option where you would have a D or a curved closed finish. Or you'd need a certain route that you'd want your door to follow. But most are a standard straight track with corners to slide inside. So to measure up your project, you need to determine where you're going to put the bottom track. So if it was in a camper van conversion and you were fitting onto a shower tray, so you've got an opening, you bring the door inside, and you would measure from where you're putting the bottom track to where you're putting the top track. So when we provide a door, we would include the track within the measurement. So that would be from where the track fixes to the bottom track fixes to. To give you an understanding, we would reduce the height of the door by 5 mil to allow for the bottom and the top track, to give you that the total height, for example. So it would be from there to the bottom. So when you're measuring up and you're giving us the height that you need, it will be the total height of where the track is fixed to. So you would bond this track to the tray. You wouldn't be able to screw it. So you would have your track within the opening area, with your corner and the following track for when you open the door. So you've got your closed and your open section. So if you were ordering a tamper door that was 500 mil wide, we would provide 2 lots of track of 1000 mil, which would be ample enough. So you'd have 500 mil for your open, 500 mil for your close. Then you would have your corner, which also gives you an extra track room as well. So to determine the top track, this is a crucial part. So the top track needs to be parallel to the bottom track, and it needs to be an equal level height for your door, because obviously your door height doesn't change. So if you are fixing to your ceiling in a camper van or within a top unit, if it was say a cupboard or you were doing the storage within an alcove, you'd probably have a level batten that you'd fix it to. But if you're in a camper conversion, your height may be off slightly in certain areas. So if your door is going to slide 500mm, then a corner, and then 500mm, you need to check the height of every single point all the way around as it slides. So if you're slightly high in some areas, when you slide the door can come out of that track. And if it's low in certain areas, then the door won't slide because it could get sandwiched within the track. So it is crucial to get the top track right. So if you are planning to fix to the ceiling, if you take the lowest point, so if it's slightly lower here, take the lowest point, and when you get the door and the track, you can pack out the difference in the height to bring everything to that correct height for you for all the way around. The best option is to create a batten that the track fixes to. When you create a batten, it's easier to get a level height all the way around, because you've put that batten in at that correct height, so you level up your measurement. So all you would do is bond or fix this track to the batten, ready to go. So when you fit the door, you would bond the track down, wait for that to dry, then you pop your door in, and then your batten and your track, and then you measure, you line up where you want it to be, and then you fix that batten then. So it's very easy. Pop the door in, pop the batten and the track on, and fix. If you were fixing to the ceiling, you would bond the bottom track and the top track. When it's dry, you'd have to tilt your door to one side to get into the track, and level it up. So you'd have to push the slats to an angle, the door to an angle, feed the door in, and then level it up. And you'll find then that it will sort of mess up your tape slightly. But this tape is there for holding the slats together, so it stops it from sliding out. So this tape can be removed once you're happy with the fit. If you know it's sliding well, and you're comfortable, and what have you, and you believe that you don't need to take the door out again, you can take the tape off and you just clean it up with an alcohol wipe, and it gives you obviously a better look inside then. So that is how you measure up the height. So from the bottom to the where you plan to fix the top track, checking that you've got enough depth inside for that door. So for example, if you've got a 500mm wide door, you need 500mm of it to slide in and around to fully open. So checking the depth inside your room or your unit. Sometimes within an alcove, the depth is a lot shorter, so you've got a wide space with a small depth. So that means that you would have to slide it to the side and around the back. So if you're planning to have shelves at the back, then that would affect the door from sliding round. So you may have to create a false wall for the door to slide around. So you'd have your alcove, a false wall for your shelves, and the door would slide around the back there. So that's another tip. But within a camper van conversion, you'd have to look at where you've got your shower bar or your toilet. Is there anything on that wall as it slides around to affect it? And also, some shower rooms I've seen where they've got a curved roof, where it's not a square, it's curved. So you may not have a full depth of space. So you'd have to bring a batten down under to get your full depth. So that is pretty simple to measure up, top and bottom track, and then the width of the door to cover the opening. So if you have a 500mm opening, you want a 550mm door, so you want an excess on the tail end so it overlaps if you're using it for a shower to prevent water going through. So go slightly wider with the door, and that'll give you an excess. Sometimes we get requests if you've got an offset shower or you want a more modern closed finish or curved finish. So you can upgrade your track to a flexible track. It comes in 3 sections. So you've got a central part with a ridge and 2 sides, and the sides slide on to the central part. Like I say, making sure that that ridge is facing upwards. There we go. And that forms your track. So all you need to do is you can get a 90-degree turn with this. And when you're measuring up for your quadrant shower tray or your curve, you measure from the corner to the corner around. That determines your width. And then that can be built and tacked with pins. So very thin pins. And you would bond Sikaflex, D12, whatever suits your glue or bonding agent. And that would fix onto the edge of your shower tray or your unit that you're fixing to. Tack it on, and when that bond is set, remove the tacks then, and then repeat the process for the top where you're bonding the top track to. So you can upgrade from standard track to flexible track. I believe it's an extra $24.99. We have a listing available online to do that. So when you're ordering your door, you can order the flexible track in the checkout as well, and we would just change it from this to this. So very simple, and it's a great looking finish. You can see on our homepage on our website of customers or trade customers that use this track. There's one with a double door close which is curved, and we also have a customer that does one full curved door which slides inside. It looks fantastic, so I definitely recommend that. So also in the kit then, so you would have your door which is made to measure, you would have the track that you require, and then you would also get your door stop, which is the same color as your door. So if it was silver, this would be silver and white and so on. And then you also get magnetic tape. So the door is backed with aluminium, the door handle section, and it's got an integrated magnetic strip. So this magnetic strip you'd have a big roll of it, you cut it to the size of your door, magnetize it to your door, peel the tape off, and this door stop sits inside, so that would be fixed inside to your wall, and then you would butt it up against that. So that's your door stop. You prise the magnets apart, and then you just push down the tape so it's secure, and that will be your magnetic close, perfectly aligned with your 3M magnetic tape. So if you were doing a conversion where you didn't have any front walls and you just wanted a tambour door that was your wall for your opening, so you would have two side walls, the rear and your tambour door. So you would have a natural door stop. You wouldn't need this because you'd have a side wall that you'd be closing up against. But you'd also have on the far end a door opening up on a corner or sliding inside. So you would have your wall here and your door sliding inside. So this section would fix to that side wall and it would hide the curve. So you wouldn't see a curve as it slides in. That will give you a nice flush finish at the front. So when you're standing outside, you would see a nice flush tambour door room finish. So like I said, we can build up to 2,000 mil high, any mil in between, and up to 1 meter wide, any mil in between. So we limit at 1 meter wide just because the tambour door will sit on a track. It's plastic on a track ridge, so it reduces the friction. But if you tend to go over 1,000 mil high, it just makes it slightly more challenging to open and close your door. So that's the reason why we got to 1,000 mil in the horizontal slide. So there is, we often get the question of how does our doors compare to the current doors on the market. So we are slightly more expensive. So every door that we make is made to order. We deliver worldwide. When you order a door, we'll cut that door to size, we'll package it and send it out. It's roughly 12 to 14 working days for a bespoke build. We don't carry set sizes of stock. Everything is made to order. So when you order, please order the exact millimeter height that you want. You know, we will cut that for you. And a lot of doors on the market in the UK and Europe are made out of a cheaper PVC plastic. So ours is made out of a tough ABS plastic. It's a lot more rigid. It's a better quality plastic, and like I say, a flame retardant. It makes it a lot more rigid compared to a PVC, where they are more flexible. When they're in a track, they tend to squeak. In a changing environment, in a camper van, when it gets hot, they become more flexible. And the paint finish, so ours, when they're pressed, they are glazed with a finish, you can see, and then it's protected with a film layer. So when they're built, your door will have a film layer across that, which is peeled off and protects it from any scratches. So with ours, our slats are slightly convex there, compared to the PVC, where it's a flat slat. And what you will find the paint finish on a PVC would be, if it's a silver door, they tend to be paint sprayed, and you get a textured silver finish, a matte finish, and it's very easily scratched off, chipped off, and what have you. And then when you sort of slightly open your slat like that, you will see the natural colour of the slat plastic, the silver. And there's a big difference between the spray and the natural colour. Even sometimes when it's closed together, you can see that difference. And then with the black or the gloss white on the market, that is a spray as well. So you've got a very glossy, thick black or white finish, which doesn't look great. And like I say, within a change environment of a camper van, can easily chip off or crack or peel because they're sprayed onto plastic. So it is not great. So yeah, there is a big difference in the length of time that door, a PVC door, will last compared to our ABS plastic. Sometimes I see a cheaper, larger PVC door where the handle is made of just purely plastic. So it's slightly bigger than the slat, and it's grooved, and it's got a flat edge, and then they stick a magnet to that. So imagine having a 2 meter high door made of plastic. If ours were just slats, a 2 meter high, you would see a bend. But the reason why we back this with aluminium, so 40mm width aluminium, L-shaped, with the integrated magnet, and that gives the door strength. It stops it from bending in a great height. So we strongly recommend not to buy doors that are just made from full plastic, because it can easily pop out the track, especially when it's warm. It'll pop out that track, and you'll be having to put the door back in, as well as that tough slide and squeaky slide. There are other doors on the market that I've seen that are a standard height of 2 meters by 600mm wide. They do have an aluminium backing, but the only flaw I can see is the handle. If I take this off, our handle is on our ABS plastic cover over the aluminium, and it's only cut within the plastic and screwed through the aluminium plate, so we don't affect the strength of this aluminium slat. So most on the market, PVC aluminium handles, you can see that the handle goes straight through on both sides. So you've got a missing piece out of your handle for both sides, and that will affect the strength of that aluminium. So you can also push that door in, and this can bend, or you can bend the shape of your aluminium handle or slat, which will affect the whole door. So we do provide a second handle, but ours is 3M taped, stuck on with a stainless steel handle. Very nice design. That pops on. You've got choices of black, silver or gold. So black with black, silver with silver, and so on. So that sticks on there, very tough, and it will slide actually back and forth, and you can use the handle inside. So that's my only concern with the other on the market. Also, it's 2 meters by 600 wide. Most of our requests are for doors between 1700 and 1800 high. So a 2 meter high, you would have to cut that door down to size to get the measurement that you need. And cutting a tambour door, even though it's easy to cut, it's a challenge to cut to get it straight, because it's taped together, and when you cut with a fine tooth blade, jigsaw or handsaw, it can move, and you could have not a very level door. So when you're popping it in the track, it could not be level. It might slide. It'll tend to rattle in there, because you've not got a perfectly level slat, and that's where you find it will rattle in your tracks. So with a perfectly cut, like say ours are made to order, they cut with a high pressure cutter, and it'll give you a perfect finish on your cut. When you're cutting yourself, you'll have to remove the burrs and sand it all down on every single slat to make sure it's perfect for you. So if you do have to cut, then you're not going to be able to return that tambour door to the seller, because you've cut the door. So if you cut it too low, then you've got to change your project, bring your ceiling down. If you cut it too high, then you have to cut it again. It can be a real challenge, and the more times you cut, then you've got to clean the slats and so on. So for the difference in price, we're roughly 30, 40, £50, depending on the size of the door, but an average of say £40 for a made to measure bespoke door, a colour of your choice, handle of your choice, cut to the exact size. Yet you can get a door within three days, but it is a cheap PVC door that you'll probably have to cut, and you find the time to cut. So I would recommend waiting a little bit longer to make sure that the tambour door that you receive is perfect and is cut to the size that you need. Also, another concern that I've seen is that the PVC doors with the aluminium backing, I've noticed that they are joined by a rubber. They tend to be the silver doors. They're joined by rubber, so you've got two slats joined onto this rubber, and you'll see on the silver doors there'll be a rubber grip down there. So as we said, in a camper van, the changing environment of the temperature, the cold, the water from the shower, that rubber will perish and crack, and it becomes no longer, it will no longer seal your room. As it cracks, it'll pull the slats apart. Through constant use of closing back and forth, there is a real risk there of buying a door joined by rubber and PVC. So ours are perfectly aligned. There is no chance of the water getting through that slat, because of the curve that holds the slats together. So I'd avoid rubber joint slats. So that's another thing. But if you have any questions before ordering, please drop us an email. If you're not quite sure send us some pictures of your project, some measurements of the height and the width and the depth of space. We can look to see if there's any issues that you may face with opening the door, and if you don't have the space for a tambour door to slide inside, then we do have other door options which are growing and growing, all designed for this use. So yeah, please drop us a message. Thank you.